The unsolved mystery lingers on of an unknown woman's cruel demise, with still no clues as to her identity nor trace of the culprit. In 1943, a skeleton was found inside the hollow trunk of a wych elm. The saga of attempts to crack the mysterious crime diverges into theories of occult rituals, spy rings, and espionage. While police files around the case remain sealed, the authorities consider it still open after even 80 years. One April afternoon in 1943, a woman's remains were discovered by 4 teenage boys who were illegally poaching on a private estate in Hagley Woods near Birmingham, England. Bob Farmer, Bob Hart, Fred Payne and Tom Willits were seeking animals to hunt as they were unable to survive on their World War II food rations. Spotting a wych elm tree, Bob Farmer hoped he could retrieve some birds' eggs from inside its hollow trunk. Instead, the boys pulled out a human skull, prompting them to flee in terror. Young Tom Willits soon told his parents about the gruesome discovery, whereby the police were informed, and Hagley Wood quickly converted from a tranquil forest to a busy crime scene. Police eventually retrieved an entire female skeleton from the wych elm, with the only thing missing her hand. Further investigations revealed a scattering of finger bones around the tree, as well as clothing pieces, a shoe and a gold wedding ring on and surrounding the remains. The local medical examiner, Professor James Webster, was summoned and concluded that the woman had passed about 18 months previously, in October 1941. She had evidently perished close to the scene, as her body could only be placed inside the hollow trunk while still warm, that is, before the effects of rigor mortis set in. Webster also determined that the woman was aged 35 at the time of her passing, measured just 5 feet in height, had light brown hair, and had given birth to 1 child. His autopsy ruled out the possibility that she had taken her own life, crucially due to a single piece of taffeta fabric. The fabric scrap was found wedged inside the skull's mouth, suggesting suffocation. This clue, in combination with the body's strange positioning within the wych elm, convinced Webster that another person had brought about the woman's demise. The woman had had distinctive overlapping front teeth, but the police's painstaking analysis of dental records right across Great Britain failed to uncover any information about her identity. This fueled speculation that the woman placed in the wych elm was possibly an anti-British spy, entangled in an espionage mission gone wrong. Mysteriously, around Christmas of 1943, graffiti appeared on a wall in nearby Birmingham, posing the question, who put Lou Bella down the wych elm, Hagley Wood? Very soon a second piece of graffiti, apparently written by the same hand, appeared in town, reading Hagley Wood Bella, and more graffitied messages were to follow over the years, evolving into the simple question, who put Bella in the wych elm? After the messages began, police started investigating missing persons cases of anyone whose name contained Bella, and several theories emerged concerning Bella's identity. In 1945, Margaret Murray, a philosophy professor and folklorist at University College London, speculated that the real explanation of Bella's demise came from the fact that one of her hands was detached and its fingers scattered around the wych elm. Murphy referred to an occult ritual called the Hand of Glory, wherein the hand of a person who has perished on the gallows, although Bella had not, could be used for supernatural purposes. Rumours of witches' sabbaths in Hagley Wood circulated in the community, while Murray ascertained that Bella had been slain by her coven in a witch trial. Despite the press and public being captivated by the story, police were unable to find any evidence that linked the Hagley Wood remains to Professor Murray's theory. 10 years after Bella was discovered in the wych elm, a woman calling herself Anna contacted a local newspaper declaring that she had information regarding Bella's demise. Anna was formally interviewed by police, and she reported to them that Bella had been a German spy who worked alongside a British officer and apparently got into a dangerously deep level with the spy ring. The idea seemed plausible, as there were many munitions factories in the area surrounding Hagley Wood that were major targets for spies during World War II. The media quickly focused on the espionage angle of Anna's story, with the Cold War being on everyone's mind in 1953. However, despite extensive investigations by police, Anna's claims resulted in no substantiating evidence to solve the case. A Gestapo officer called Joseph Jacobs had been captured by the Home Guard near Hagley Wood in January 1941 after parachuting into the area. He had confessed that he was sent to make contact with a woman called Clara Boiler. Jacobs described Boiler as a German cabaret singer and actress who had been recruited as a spy by the Third Reich. Following a full interrogation of Jacobs, authorities decided that he could not be released and he was executed by firing squad as the last person ever to perish at the Tower of London. The question still lingered, however, as to whether the remains in Hagley Wood may have been this Clara who never managed to rendezvous with Jacobs. Further research uncovered that Clara Boiler was a real person, a cabaret singer and actress who had performed in both Germany and England. For a while it seemed that she had vanished without a trace in 1941 and would also have been 35 that year. However, witnesses claimed that she was a foot taller than Bella, and German records later released indicated that Boiler had passed away in Germany in 1942. Writer Donald McCormick published a book in 1968 entitled Murder by Witchcraft, which seemed to combine both theories. McCormick had gained access to classified Abwehr files. Abwehr was the German military intelligence service operating from 1920 to 1945, and McCormick claimed that his research had uncovered a file on a spy and occultist who was a Third Reich operative named Clara Bella. He had read that Clara Bella had parachuted into the area surrounding Hagley Wood and then vanished. McCormick confirmed the finger bones found around the tree, as well as another slaying nearby, as proof of occult rituals in the area. It's worth noting that McCormick would not have had access to British intelligence files describing Joseph Jacobs' claims about cabaret singer Clara Boiler being a spy. Modern DNA testing could now finally resolve the mysterious slaying that occurred in Hagley Wood over 7 decades ago, but there's just one problem: Bella's remains have gone missing. After the autopsy, Professor Webster passed on the remains to a fellow professor. It's unknown when Bella's skeleton left the medical school, but to date, no one has been able to locate the remains that might finally solve the case. The most accurate possible identification of the woman in Hagley Wood may come from a facial reconstruction which was done in 2018 in association with a new book about the case. While the technology may indicate a hypothetical face, the woman's real name remains a mystery. Since the 1970s, graffiti has continued to appear in the area around Hagley Wood, and in 1999, an obelisk on the Hagley Hall estate was defaced with the now familiar question, who put Bella in the WYCH ELM? The obelisk is now fenced in with barbed wire, and the owner of Hagley Hall, Lord Cobham, has resisted removing the graffiti in case the process destroys the fragile monument. In 2016, an unknown person hung a cardboard sign on the fencing around Hagley Wood that again asked the same question. It does suggest that there are still some out there who not only remember Bella, but for whatever reason are unable to come forward.